Well, howdy friends, Brian Flechsig of Mad River Outfitters in the Midwest Fly Fishing Schools, and it is winter 2024-2025. So that means here in Ohio and throughout the Great Lakes region, we are smack in the middle of steelhead season. And we're approaching the new year, 2025, and as of right now, we still have really good steelhead fishing conditions. Our guides are out on the water every day, putting clients onto fish and feeding us info and intel on how the fishing's going up there. And I thought I'd take just a minute and talk about a few new steelhead flies that we have here in the shop that have been producing well, and then a couple of old favorites and old standbys. So here we go. First and foremost, this is a fly that I've been using quite a bit. I've actually been using this trout fishing as well, but it turns out it's an excellent winter steelhead nymph, and it's called the ice nymph. And this is a great fly. It's not overly heavily weighted, so you probably want to fish this in a tandem rig, probably behind an egg pattern, and you're of course going to have split shot out in front, but it can be fished by itself as well. But it's a great, we've often done well with kind of those white and, brighter contrasting colors, especially this time of year. And this one is tied with some sort of icy white purple ice stub. And then it's got just a perfectly gold flashy back on it. This has really been a great winter steelhead nymph so far. We've had it now for a couple of seasons. A couple of new nymphs. You always want to have a good selection of nymphs with you, and this has turned out to be an excellent producer. And it's basically a bead-headed, I believe it's tungsten, bead-headed copper john nymph, essentially, that they've added some rubber legs and some pretty serious soft tackle. For those of you that know me, you know that I love soft-tackled flies. I fish them a lot for trout. I fish them a lot for steelhead. And this has been a great one. This has just been a classic. This one here is a classic black stonefly imitation. We do have black stones in our streams here. Of course, up in Michigan, black stones are critical. And so that's the black stone version. And I think that they call this variation the vitamin D10, if I'm not mistaken. But it's got a bright orange bead and orange rubber legs to it. So just a souped up version of a copper john, which of course, how can you go wrong with a copper john? But they're tied on steelhead capable hooks and also make for a great nymph. And of course, we've always done well with prince nymphs, been traditionally a good steelhead fly. And this is, I think it's called the princess nymph. They put a pink bead, some holographic pink looking wings to that guy, holographic rib, and pink tails. So you take the old standby prince nymph, you add a little pink to it, and it becomes a princess nymph, and that is, of course, a fantastic steelhead nymph. Now, a couple of crossover flies that can kind of be fished. They can be both nymphs, they can be both streamers. You can dead drift these, you can twitch them, you can strip them as streamers. Just want to give you a friendly reminder that Mad River Outfitters gift cards really make for a perfect gift idea for the fly tyer or fly angler on your holiday gift list. These can be purchased in a variety of monetary denominations. You can purchase them online or in the shop, and that way the person on your list gets exactly what they want or what they need, which is more like what they want here at Mad River Outfitters. And remember, these can be purchased online and emailed to you up to 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve. So check it out, Mad River Outfitters gift cards, and thanks for your support. We really appreciate it, and happy holidays. But first and foremost, our good friend Patrick Robinson, who works with Steelhead Alley Outfitters here in the Lake Erie region. This fly is actually pretty old at this point, but still continues to sell well these days. It's called the Chicken Little. And it's almost like a micro woolly bugger, of course, with soft tackle. And then he's got an egg up front for the hot spot. So what could go wrong? It's an egg-sucking woolly bugger. But they come in 3 colors, the chartreuse, you've got the pink, and then you've got the orange. And this is absolute go-to. You've got to have these in your box. Either fish in Michigan, New York, here in Ohio, Pennsylvania. And then another good friend and a very recognizable name these days, Mike Schultz. I believe it was back when Mike was, I could be wrong on this story, but I'll tell it anyway. I believe Mike was guiding on the Pere Marquette River up in Michigan quite a bit for steelhead. And he was looking for a fly that produced fish but was very easy and quick to tie. And he came up with a fly called a Steech. So this is Schultz's Steech. And again, I fish it mostly as a nymph, but it's just got great action in the water. And of course it does have that little hot spot up front. Our fish, especially here in the Lake Erie region, our fish are looking for bling. They're not actually feeding on insects and stuff when they're in our streams. So they're looking for that, a little bit of movement, and they're looking for that bling. So you've got the hot spot orange on the front of an olive. You've got purple, which, I mean, if you're only to have one, especially for Lake Erie, get the purple, no question. And then of course, black always catches fish. So there's Schultz's Steech in the black color. Again, the Robinson's Chicken Little and Mike Schultz's Steech are two flies that we've been selling, I don't know. It might be getting close to 20 years that we've been selling those two flies, and that ain't ever gonna change. No question, those are staple and go-to. But you can check out the Ice Nymph, that's worth having. These new rubber lead copper johns. I think we've got two colors, or at least those are the two colors that I like most. And then the old standby, the Princess Nymph. She's very, very pretty, but man, Steelhead love this fly, and don't go fishing without that. So anyhow, just thought we'd touch base. Been a little while since we've talked Steelhead. I'm hoping to get out on the water here very soon with one of our guides, Josh Trammell, Dustin White, Steve Flechsig, whoever will have me. I'd love to go steelhead fishing, so stay tuned, and hopefully we'll be getting out on the water here soon in early 2025. So as always, friends, you can check out these flies and more steelhead at madriveroutfitters.com. Remember too, if you're interested in steelhead fishing, you can go back to 1999. That's right, 1999, when myself and our great friend Jerry Darkus, who kind of pioneered steelhead fishing here in the Lake Erie region, but we made a VHS tape. Yep, that's how old we are. It came out on VHS, but it was called Steelheading Made Simple. And there's probably a link to episode 1. You can now watch it on YouTube. As long as you support the shop, you can watch it for free. Oh, and subscribe to our channel too. But there's probably a link right here. If you can't see that link, there's a link down in the description of this video. Again, called Steelheading Made Simple. I think we've got 10 episodes now available on YouTube. So check that out. And as always, friends, if you ever have any questions about this video, anything we do about fly fishing in general or steelhead fishing in particular, please pick up the phone and give us a call here at the shop or shoot us an email. We're always happy to help. Remember, the customer service is what we do for a living. Fly fishing is what we love and what we sell. So thanks as always. Again, be sure to subscribe. It's free and it really helps us out. Hit that like button and stay tuned. We've got a ton more fly fishing content coming your way.